Gamebred is in the building, and these guys just flapping gums at each other. Any chance they get.
I came across Jorge Masvidal in 2010 thanks to his entertaining fights during his Dream and Strikeforce days. There's always been something about Gamebred that truly hardcore fans of MMA always acknowledged but never fully appreciated. When I looked up the reason for his now world-famous moniker, I realized that it had its roots in the backyards of Mofussil, Miami, in the underground subculture of street fighting, wherein he shared his juvenile fighting days with none other than Kimbo Slice himself. It was an eye-opener for me those days. Hardcore trip with hardcore. Street Jesus owed it to the original king of the streets in some ways. Kimbo Slice participated in the street fights that were broadcast on internet thanks to the online distribution muscle of a kingpin in the porn industry. Now, two of these productions featured a 19-year-old Masvidal, barely recognizable if not for that mane he sports today. Perhaps the coiffure was an ode to those days when he was a thug who finished fights instead of toying with his opponents. Masvidal 2.0 calls it baptizing his opponents. What it really means is that he wants to knock his opponents out cold instead of leaving it to the judges. This is something many hardcore fans have been frustrated with over years. Masvidal's original MMA avatar was lazy, backed up too much against the cage, relied too much on the sweet science without going for the kill. I myself gave up on him after his defeat to Tobi Imada via a very rare inverted reverse triangle choke. It was a fight he had been dominating till he got complacent, till he got caught. This is the only time he has been finished inside a cage. Prior to 2019, 12 of Masvidal's losses came via judges' scorecards, with a majority of them being split decisions. Many would argue he actually won all of them, but he was too laconic in his approach to fighting in the judges' eyes. That was Masvidal of the old. He was written off as a journeyman. Gamebred was respected but never feared. After a hiatus involving reality television, he burst back into the scene with a blistering 2019. That same old hairdo and bravado he had seemingly left behind in the streets was back.
But I don't like this dude, man. Before my alarm goes off, I'm already awake. I want to break his fucking face, man. I want to break his fucking rib cage. And I don't want to knock him out early on. I just want to torture that guy, man. If I get the chance to torture him for 14 minutes and 50 seconds before I stop him, that's what I'm going to do, man. You know, I don't like the dude.
Gamebred was back. It was time for Street Jesus to start preaching again. Enter Masvidal 2.0. In a run that earned him the Fighter of the Year award in 2019, Gamebred defeated the likes of Darren Till and former one welterweight legend Ben Askren via a flying knee for the ages within the first 5 seconds, each of them worthy of a reel like no other. In fact, he sealed his Street Jesus status after a fight with Darren Till in London, where he was involved in what started off as a verbal altercation between fellow welterweight contender Leon Edwards.
Hey, come over here, in my face, bro.
After the initial volley, he unleashed a flurry of punches on the unsuspecting prospect, cutting Edwards up pretty good. The whole thing was televised. When asked about it in an interview, Masvidal smirked and quipped,
Give him the 3-piece with the soda. Give him the 3-piece with the soda. Give him the 3-piece with the soda.
3-piece and a soda. Masvidal's gangster status was sealed. Masvidal eventually capped 2019 with a comprehensive dismantling of Nate Diaz. Yeah, the same dude who choked Conor McGregor out on a short notice fight for the inaugural BMF, the baddest motherfucker title. Many cast aspersions on his abilities, many even questioned if he really was gangsta. But the Masvidal 2.0 train has challenged the superstardom status of even Conor McGregor. But is Gamebred really gangsta after 17 years in the game with nothing to show apart from a fake WWE belt in the UFC? Absolutely. Street Jesus proved it all at UFC 251. And how? Yeah, he lost. But he lost to Kamaru Usman, the one who manhandled Tyron Woodley and broke Kobe Covington's jaw. Masvidal took the fight on 6 days' notice. Yes, 6 days. Sure, he was in line to fight for the title, but negotiations fell through. When Gilbert Burns pulled out of the title fight with COVID-19, Masvidal stepped in for the company at a price he was happy with. On 6 days' notice, he went toe-to-toe for the most part with Usman, defending takedowns and even getting some hefty shots in. It was competitive against a monstrous Nigerian. Jorge Masvidal is a gangster and more. His legend teaches us that we are never really out of the game until we call it that way. Resurrection is always around the corner should we want it.
I saw some criticism. People say the punches weren't really necessary. Maybe
They were super necessary.
The cult of Gamebred is biblical.